Good morning, student. Next topic of voltage regulator, that is type number 2. In type number 1, we are seeing that is VU is less than 30 volt. Remaining condition, that is IL, that is load current, is less than 1 ampere. No Zener pre-regulator is available. No short circuit protection is available, as well as no overload protection is available. Now in type number 2, we are just changing the output voltage. Output voltage VU is greater than 30 volt. As we are seeing the circuit diagram of type number 1, the circuit diagram of type number 1 is same except the arrangement of the Zener diode. In type number 2, as we taken a VU is greater than 30 volt, instead of single Zener diode, we are using two Zener diode in series, because this provides the reference voltage and this Zener diode voltage is equals to, we are considering VU that is half of the output voltage. So if voltage across the Zener is greater than or equals to 15 volt or greater than 15 volt, that time we are using a series of Zener diode. So here a problem statement is given as problem number 2, that is design a series regulator power supply to provide a output voltage of 30 volt and load current is up to 1 ampere. The unregulated power supply has the following specification, that is VI is given as 45 plus minus 5 volt, output voltage is 30 volt, IL is equals to 1 ampere, output impedance is equals to 10 ohm, and del IL is equals to 0 to 1 ampere. That is the given data or given problem. We have to find out the stability factor, output resistance, and change in the output voltage for this del IL. That we have to find out for the voltage regulator. This type of problem comes under the type number 2, as we mentioned in type number 2. If U is equals to or greater than 30 volt, then it is type number 2. So we go for the design step or design of voltage regulator. So first step is design of Zener diode. So first step is nothing but the design of Zener diode, or we can say a selection of Zener diode. So we know that selection of Zener. So for selection of Zener, we know that Vz is equals to VU by 2. So we are having VU is equals to 30 volt. 30 divided by 2 is equals to 15 volt. Instead of using a single Zener, we just break this 15 into 2, and we are getting Vz is equals to Vz1 is equals to Vz2 is equals to 7.5. So we are using a 2 Zener diode. Instead of single Zener diode, we are using a 2 Zener diode with 7.5 volt. That is Z1 and Z2. We are just connecting these 2 Zener diode in series. Next part is assumption. We are assume ID is equals to I1 is equals to IC2. That is equals to 1 to 2% of the load current. Either we can select 1% of the load current or 2% of the load current. Let us assume, in previous problem we assume this ID is equals to I1 is equals to IC2 is equals to 2% of the load current. Here we are considering a 1% of load current. So it is 1% of 1 ampere is equals to 10 milliampere. So that is nothing but the assumption. So this is nothing but the assumption. So assume this much of data. Then next, IZ, we have to calculate the power rating of that Zener diode. So for power rating of Zener diode, we must know the Zener current. So IZ is equals to, what is IZ? IZ is nothing but the current flowing through the Zener. So it is nothing but the addition of this ID plus IE2. Is it right? So that IE2 is nothing but equals to IC2. So IZ is equals to ID plus IC2. So it is nothing but the IC2 is 10 milliampere and ID is also is equals to 10 milliampere. So 10 plus 10, that is equals to 20 milliampere. So this is IZ. So next is power dissipation across the zener. So power dissipation across the zener Z1 and Z2. Is it right? So next is for power dissipation, it is nothing but V into I. Vz multiplied by Iz. Either Iz1 or Iz2. So that is nothing but the power dissipation. So it is equals to 20 multiplied by 7.5. So this is nothing but the power dissipation. It is nothing but 150 milliwatt. So it is 150 milliwatt. So we have to select a Zener diode with voltage rating of 7.5 volt and power dissipation is of 150 milliwatt. So we can select a 1/4 watt of Zener, that is Z1 and Z2. That two Zener we have to connect in series for getting a total reference voltage is equals to 15 volt. So this 15 volt will be come by using we are getting this 15 volt by connecting two Zener Z1 and Z2 in series. Z1 and Z2 specification is of 7.5 volt. So this is nothing but the first part, that is selection of Zener diode. Next part is selection of transistor T2. So next part is selection of transistor T2. So we have to select this transistor T2 now. Now again, similarly, while selecting a component, we must know the voltage, that is VCE2. We must know the current flowing through that transistor, and third one is power dissipation of that component. So we must know these three things. First thing is that is voltage, that is VCE2. So VCE2 can be calculated by subtracting these two voltages, that is VC minus VE. So what is VC? VC is nothing but the addition of this VBE1 plus voltage available at this point. This is nothing but the load voltage. We know that load voltage is nothing but the 30 volt, and this is nothing but the VBE1. So VBE1 is generally assumed to be a 0.7. So this is equals to VBE1 plus VO minus this emitter voltage. Emitter voltage is nothing but this voltage, that is voltage across these two Zener, that is nothing but VZ. So this is VZ is nothing but the addition of this VZ1 and VZ2. So it is equals to 0.7 plus 30 volt minus 15 volt. So we are getting a 14.3 volt as VCE2. Is it right? So this is nothing but the VCE2, that is 14.3 volt. So next is IC2. We have to calculate the IC2. So in previous, while selecting a Zener, we assume IC2. IC2 is equals to 1% of the load current and it is equals to 10 milliampere. So that we are already assumed. So we are having the value of voltage across the collector emitter and current flowing through that transistor. So next is power dissipation across the transistor T2. So it is nothing but the VCE2 multiplied by IC2. So it is equals to 14.3 into 10 milliampere. Is it right? So this is nothing but the power dissipation across the transistor T2. So it is nothing but the 143 milliwatt. So we have to assume we have to select the transistor T2 with VCE2 is equals to 14.3. So VCE2 is equals to 14.3. Then IC2 is equals to 10 milliampere and power dissipation across transistor T2 is equals to 143 milliwatt. So we can assume or we can select a greater than this value or double than this value. It is nothing but we can select 1 by 2 watt or 1.4 watt. So this is nothing but a selection. With here we have to assume the beta value, that is HFE2, and we are generally taking this for this transistor. HFE HFE is greater than 50. So here HFE2 is equals to, we can assume 100, 200, 150, but its value must be greater than 50. So we assume here HFE is equals to 200. Either you can select HFE2 is equals to 100 or greater than 50. So this is nothing but a selection of transistor T2. So this is selection of transistor T2. Next is selection of R1, R2 and RD. So first we are taking R1. For R1, so calculating R1, the resistance by Ohm's law, voltage across the resistance divided by current, that is nothing but the R1 value. So voltage available at this point is nothing but the load voltage. So it is VO. VO minus the voltage available at this point at the second end of the resistance R1. So it is nothing but this value. So this voltage is nothing but across this R2. At this point across R2, we can say that is VF. So VF is nothing but the voltage available at these 2 points. Is it right? So this is nothing but this R2 is parallel with this component, that is base of the transistor T2, and this inner second end. So this is nothing but VB2 plus this voltage, that is VZ. So this is VB2 plus VZ divided by I1. So it is 30 minus 0.7 plus 15 divided by 10 milliampere. So again this is 14.3 divided by 10 milliampere. So R1 is equals to 143 ohm. Is it right? So this is the value of, so this is nothing but the value of R1. It is 1.43, that is kilo ohm, or we can say R1 is equals to 1430 ohm. So this is the value of R1. Now again we have to calculate the dissipation across this resistance R1. For that we are having PD R1 is equals to I1 square into R1. So I1 square is nothing but a 10 milliampere square multiplied by 1430. So there is nothing but a power dissipation across the R1, and it is equals to 143 milliwatt. 143 milliwatt. So select a resistance with a value of 1430 and power dissipation of 143. So we can select a 1.4 watt resistance R1 with this value. Next is selection of resistance R2. is selection of R2. So R2 is equals to this voltage minus this voltage. We already calculated the voltage at this point, that is nothing but the Vf. So R2 is equals to Vf minus 0 divided by I2. It is equals to Vf minus approximately equals to I1. So it is Vf is nothing but the VB2 plus Vz divided by 10 milliampere. So it is equals to 0.7 plus 15 divided by 10 milliampere. So it is 15.7 or we can 7 ohm. This is the value of R2. Again we have to calculate the power dissipation. So power dissipation across the resistance R2, it is nothing but the I2 square multiplied by R2. So it is, this value is nothing but approximately equals to I1. So it is 10 milliampere square multiplied by 1507. So this is nothing but the power dissipation. So power dissipation across this is nothing but the 157 milliwatt. This is nothing but the 157 milliwatt. So we can select 1/4 watt of resistance R2. So select R2 with nearer to this value, that is 1570 ohm, and a power rating of 1/4 or half watt. Whatever resistance of power rating of this available, that we have to select. So select as resistance R2 with this value. Next is selection of RD. Next is selection of RD. Again, for selection of RD, we have to consider these 2 points because RD is connected in these 2 points. So at this point, again voltage is VO. So VO minus voltage available at this, that is nothing but the Vz divided by ID. So it is 30 minus 15 divided by 10 milliampere. So it is 15 divided by 10. So it is 1500 ohm. So this is nothing but the value of RD. Again we have to calculate the power dissipation across the RD. Power dissipation across the RD. PD RD, that is power dissipation across the RD. So it is ID square into RD. So 10 milliampere square multiplied by 1500 ohm. So it is 150 milliwatt. So this is power dissipation across the RD. So this is the power dissipation across the RD. So select a resistance value, resistance RD with 1500 ohm and 1/4 or half watt resistance. So this is nothing but the selection of these three different resistance R1, R2 and RD. Now next is selection of power transistor, that is transistor T1. So for power transistor we have to assume. Now next topic is, or next component we have to select, that is power transistor, that is transistor T1. So selection of transistor T1. For selection of transistor T1, again we have to calculate the VCE, VCE1, then we have to calculate the IC1. These two parameters, that is voltage and current, we have to calculate for the power dissipation. So first is VCE1. So how we are going to calculate the VCE1? VCE1 is nothing but voltage available at the collector minus voltage available at the emitter side. So collector voltage is nothing but for selection of transistor we are considering the extreme condition, and the extreme condition is nothing but the maximum input voltage. So input voltage is nothing but 45 plus minus 5 volt. So we have to assume the highest value. So Vi max. So Vi max minus Vo. So Vi max is 45 plus minus 5. So it is 50. 50 minus 30. So VCE1. Therefore, VCE1 is equals to 20 volt. Again, IC1. Collector current IC1 is equals to, this current is divided into three parts, that is first, second and third. So ID plus I1 plus IL. So it is 10 milliampere, 10 milliampere plus 1 ampere. So we can say that this is 1020 milliampere. So this is the current flowing through that transistor T1. For power dissipation across the transistor T1, power dissipation across the transistor T1 is equals to current into voltage or voltage into current. So VC1 multiplied by IC1. So it is equals to VC1 20 multiplied by current 1.02. So power dissipation is nothing but the power dissipation is equals to 20 point. Wait, power dissipation. Sorry, it is power dissipation is this is square. So it is equals to 20.04. This is nothing but the power dissipation across the transistor T1. So select a transistor T1. Now we have to select a transistor T1 with power dissipation of 40 watt. We have to consider the power dissipation exactly double or greater than double value of this. So select a power transistor with VC1 is equal to 20 volt, and power dissipation across transistor T2 is greater than this value or double than this value. It is, we are considering 40 watt. So we have to select a power transistor with power rating of 40 watt equals to or less than 50. So HFE we are considering HFE1 is equals to 50. So this is nothing but the selection of transistor T1, that is power transistor T1. Lastly, we have to calculate the resistance R3. Only one component is remaining, that is resistance R3. Selection of resistance R3. This resistance we have to select. For selecting this resistance R3, again we know that resistance R3 is equals to, by Ohm's law, voltage available at this point minus voltage available at this point divided by current flowing through this resistance R3. So this is nothing but a standard formula for calculating the R3. But before that, we have to calculate the voltage across this resistance R3. Is it right? So that voltage is nothing but this voltage difference between these two. So first, we are just calculating VR3. We know that by Ohm's law, R3 is equals to voltage difference across these two divided by I3. But first of all, we just calculate the voltage difference. So VR3 is equals to 45 plus minus 5. So here we are, while calculating the R3, we are considering the lower value. So VI minimum. So VI minimum minus voltage available at this point is nothing but the addition of these two, that is VBE1 plus VO minus VBE1 plus VO. So it is 40 minus 30 plus 0.7. So it is nothing but the 9.3 volt. So this is voltage difference or voltage available across the R3. Again we have to calculate the I3. I3 is nothing but this I3 is divided into two parts, that is IB1 and IC2. So this is IB1 plus IC2. So we know the value of IC2. We know the value of IC2, but we don't know the value of IB1. So, but we are having beta. Beta is beta divided by So, but we know the value of IC1 by from the value of IC1 we can calculate the value of IB1. So this is nothing but the IC1 divided by beta 1, or we can say it is HFE1 plus IC2. So we are already calculating the value of IC1. So IC1 value is nothing but we already calculated value of IC1. What is the value of IC1? IC1 is equals to 1020 milliampere. We know the value of IC1 is equals to 1020. While selecting a transistor T1, we are getting the value of IC1. Beta 1, we are also considering beta 1 is equals to 50. That is HFE is equals to 50. By putting this value, we directly getting the value of I3. So I3 is nothing but the 30.4 milliampere. You just put IC1 is equals to IC1 is equals to 1.1020 milliampere. Put here. This beta is equals to 50. Put here, and this IC is nothing but 10 milliampere. By putting this value, we will get the IC3 is equals to 30.4 milliampere. So this from this we are getting the value of this voltage across this resistance and current flowing through this resistance. So finally we calculate the R3. R3 is nothing but 9.3 divided by 30.4 milliampere. So this is nothing but the value of R3. So we will get the value of R3 is equals to 305.9 ohm. 305.9 ohm. So finally we just calculate the power dissipation across the R3. So R3 is nothing but the I3 square R. So I3 square divided multiplied by R3. So I3 will get the value of I3 is 30.4 milliampere square multiplied the value 305.9 ohm. So this is nothing but so PD R3 is equals to 282.7 milliwatt. 282.7 milliwatt. So this is nothing but the power dissipation across the R3. So select a resistance R3 with approximately value of 305.9 ohm and power dissipation is 282.7, or we can select a half watt rating of resistance R3. So this is all about the selection and design of the voltage regulator for the type number 2, where V is greater than 30 volt. Now next is selection of stability factor. So stability factor, now next is stability factor. Stability factor SV is equals to stability factor SV is equals to RZ divided by R3 plus multiplied by 1 plus R1 divided by R2. So this is nothing but the formula for stability factor, where RZ is nothing but the dynamic resistance of Zener. Either if it is given in the problem that is dynamic resistance of Zener diode is 10, 5, whatever is given in the problem, we have to use that value. Otherwise, we have to while selecting a Zener Z1 and Z2, we have to consider the value of RZ. So here the value of RZ we are assuming, it is given in the problem RZ is equals to 10, and if it is not given in the problem, then we have to consider it as 5 or 10 for Zener diode. So here we are assuming the value of RZ is equals to 10. So SV is equals to 10 divided by, what is the value of R3? The value of R3 is equals to 305.9. 305.9 multiplied by 1 plus, what is the value of R1? R1 is 1430. 1430, and this is R2 1570. So finally we are getting the stability SV is equals to 0.0625. So this is the stability factor. So that we are getting stability factor. Next is output impedance. Again, output impedance. Output impedance, that is RO is equals to RZ divided by HFE1 plus HFE2. HFE1 multiplied by HFE2 multiply with 1 plus R1 R2. Now for output impedance RO, we are having the value of RZ. RZ we are having 10. Then HFE1 and HFE2 we are assuming its value is nothing but a 50 and 200. That we are assuming while selecting transistor T1 and T2. So transistor T1 50 and transistor T2 it is 200. So it is multiplication of 50 multiplied by 200, and this value 1 plus 1430 divided by 1570. So the output impedance, by calculating or by solving this, we are getting the output impedance is equals to 1.9 milliohm. So this is nothing but the output impedance for the given problem. And finally, it is asked in the problem, that is change in the output voltage when del IL is equals to 0 to 1 ampere. So del VO, that is we have to calculate the change in the output voltage while changing in the current, that is load current. So del IL is given as 0 to 1 ampere. So we are having a formula for del VO. Del VO is equals to SV into del VI. SV into del VI plus RO into del IL. RO into del IL. Now out of this we know the all value, that is SV. SV is equals to we already calculated as 0.0625. 0.0625. Del VI changes from 45 plus minus 5, so del VI is equals to 5. RO we already calculate, that is RO is equals to 1.91 into 10 raised to power minus 3, and del IL is nothing but the 1. So by solving this we get the del VO. So del VO is nothing but the SV into del VI plus RO into del IL. So by calculating this we will get the change in output voltage. So change in output voltage is equals to 0.314 volt. So this is the complete solution of second problem of type 2. In first and two problem, the difference is only of output voltage. Other conditions are all same. If this output voltage is greater than 30 volt, then we have to use the 2 Zener instead of 3. If we are having output voltage is of 45 or 50 volt, then we can connect three zener in series. Okay, this is about the type number 2. Thank you very much.